here we are talking about it in its second month.
Yeah.
This is a nightmare from hell for the brand.
A nightmare from hell. Everybody, we are in almost the second month of the Bud Light boycott, and it feels like there's not much more that we could really be saying about it. But let me tell you, it is just getting started. Everybody, I'm Phares, and you're watching Speechless. Cut for time. You guys so much for tuning in. And a quick reminder, this show is brought to you by Paul Garcia Productions. I love Paul. He does amazing work. He's the one that set me up with this phenomenal camera that I'm looking at all you through. So check out Paul Garcia Productions to help your business get more business. Link in the description. Everybody, like I was saying, it feels like there's not too much more you can say about the Bud Light controversy. I've done numerous videos about it on this channel before. However, it is just getting started. I've gotten comments on some of my videos saying things like, when they close the door and turn off the lights, then our job is done. The boycott must go on forever. Otherwise, the pro-woke side of the media will spin it and try to make it look like a failure. And I get that sentiment. Absolutely. A lot of people believe we should boycott Bud Light into oblivion, and we close the door and it's done. Some like me would have accepted a sincere apology at one point, a sincere apology to the consumer and a sincere apology to women. However, Bud Light didn't do that. And anything they do now seems like too little, too late. What is known for sure is that Bud Light is still in crisis management 6 weeks after they decided to have professionally paid cross-dresser Dylan Mulvaney be one of their spokespeople for their beer brand. They've literally tried everything to try to win back their target market. I have multiple videos, like I said, breaking down their losses, breaking down a lot of the different attempts that they had to pander to conservatives and their drinking base, including making excuses that sound like they're trying to be apologies. The CEO did that. They came out with a patriotic ad. They pandered to conservatives by saying they're going to make military and first responder cans and even try to partner with some different country talent, like musicians. But none of these attempts included the apology to women that I mentioned before, and that a lot of people have been asking for since the very beginning. But they do have some new ideas that I've missed out on. They do have some new ideas that I missed out on until now. The first one is that they have offered to basically literally pay you to drink their beer. I'm serious. They have literally offered to pay you to drink their beer. So take a look at this ad. On this ad, it literally, you might not be able to see it super well, but down there, the price that's listed is $19.98, and they're offering a $20 rebate. They're offering a $20 rebate on this Bud Light, meaning that you could make 2 cents per case to buy Bud Light, and yet still people are still not buying it. Another thing, this is breaking today, everybody. Bud Light will not only pay you to take its product, they will buy back their beer from their wholesale sellers. So according to the Daily Mail, Bud Light is ready to buy back unsold cases of expired beer that sat on shelves as consumers revolted over their partnership with Dylan Mulvaney. Bud Light sales have plunged 26% compared to this time last year amid backlash from its customers over the woke marketing pitch. And now it's been revealed that the brewer has told its wholesalers that it will buy back unsold cases of beer that have gone past their expiration date. Now, as you saw at the beginning of the video, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin OLeary, the Shark Tank guy, breaks down why this boycott is so historic. But it is insane how far it has gone. And he gets into this a little bit, and I'm going to bring back his video and show his interview on the Fox News Rundown podcast. But the thing is that Bud Light is literally trying everything to get back their consumers, to cut their losses. But the one thing they won't do is actually say that women are women, men are men. There's a sanctity to that, and it should be respected. They won't do that. And now they're losing the gays. They're losing the conservatives. They're losing everybody. Nobody supports Anheuser-Busch anymore. And Mr. Wonderful, Kevin OLeary, Shark Tank guy, breaks down exactly why. So let's take a look at 3 main clips. I want to take a look at 3 main clips from his interview on the Fox News Rundown podcast. And this is going to just kind of give us a great kind of play-by-play from, and again, this is nonpartisan. This guy is not coming at it from the conservative necessarily perspective of that men are men, women are women, and that needs to be respected. No, he's more so looking at it from a business perspective, objectively. What's good for business? What's bad for business? And so first off, he kind of gives some credit to conservatives at the very beginning of this. Let's take a look at how he starts off this interview right here.
Well, Bud Light has become the poster boy for brand mismanagement from multiple perspectives. So let me lay it out for you, because the discussions that have arisen and the narrative that's arisen around Bud Light is probably a good lesson for every CEO in every sector of the economy. Number one, it highlights the power of social media. This issue went viral in 48 hours.
Yeah.
And most often when an issue goes viral like that, it burns out in another 48 hours. But that's not what happened here.
That's not what happened here. So, like he said, most of the time, things like this, people get outraged and then it dies off. And then something else happens, they get outraged and then it dies off. But this is like one of the first times that conservatives have been so mad. No, it wasn't when Disney put a gay couple in Lightyear. No, it wasn't when Disney literally said that they had a not so secret gay agenda. No, there's so many other opportunities. It wasn't when Colin Kaepernick took a knee during the national anthem. It wasn't any of those. This is one of the first times that conservatives have actually said, you know what? We need to actually do something about this. We need to actually do something about this. And the outrage culture of get mad about this thing, let it die down, get mad about this thing, actually hasn't let up in terms of the Bud Light boycott. Okay, now let's move on to a little bit. He talks about who should be blamed. And this is something, a lot of these things are things I've already said, but I want you to hear it from a business guy, from a guy who's really high, who's literally known as one of the most wealthiest and most successful venture capitalists in the world and business managers. Because, I mean, who else better to learn about this kind of stuff, right? Who else? So here's a little bit of a longer clip in which he talks about who should be to blame for this whole controversy and who needs to take responsibility. So here's that.
Show me who's responsible for this, because at the end of the day, when you go into new territory in consumer goods or services, like changing the flavor, as Coke found out decades ago,
Yeah.
you need to own that as the CEO. If you're the man or woman running this thing, you need to own it 100%, because you can't blame it on a brand manager. You can't blame it on an advertising agency. You own it. And so now what's happened within corporate America, and I can assure you this has been a conversation in every boardroom, is who's running brand here? Who's deciding what networks we post on? Who is actually doing our social media? Who is actually calling the shots on the content? Because never before has the control of content after those frames leave and get posted. You don't have control of it anymore. The rest of the world decides what they want to do with it. And you've given plenty of examples how it gets reposted and used to promote other people's narratives.
Other people's narratives. Exactly. And so here's the thing with Bud Light that he mentions. A few things. First, he compares it to New Coke. And I think that's amazing. It's because it takes it out of the controversy. You know, it takes it out of the idea that the whole gender debate and everything like that. He compares it to New Coke to put the idea that it doesn't have to do with necessarily just a significantly controversial decision in the political social sphere. It could be something as simple as taste, but somebody needs to own up to it and somebody needs to be the one to blame. Somebody needs to be the one to blame. And he says it in there. He says the CEO needs to ultimately take accountability. It's not the brand manager. It's not the VP of marketing from Bud Light. No, it is the CEO of Anheuser-Busch. That's the person that needs to take accountability, because if you don't know what's going on in your specific brands and you're not having some level of an okay for a big decision such as this, then are you really that good at your job? No, you're not that good at your job. You aren't. You aren't. And then I think the other thing that's so important about this is he talks about the narrative and how the narrative spreads. And this is so important because it goes and it has to do with the virility aspect of it that I talked about earlier. Is that because there was such a multifaceted social media campaign that conservatives orchestrated after this. You know, it initially was just a simple post from Dylan Mulvaney, the man who pretends to be a woman. It initially was just a simple post. But then Kid Rock went and lit up a bunch of Bud Light cases. Travis Tritt, Brantley Gilbert, and tons more went viral on their stances against the marketing ploy. We took control of the narrative for the first time. CNN, MSNBC, ABC, all these big media, even Fox News, they have always had control over the narrative. And for the first time, because of the democratic way of social media, we were finally able to take control of the narrative. And so there are lessons that other businesses should learn from this, right? Other businesses should take note. Adidas, Target, Ford, take out your notepad. Even though you've already screwed the pooch, take out your notepad and take note of what Kevin O'Leary has to say of the lessons businesses should learn from this whole debacle.
The lesson learned, and what everybody should think about in every consumer product category, when you take polarized positions on any narrative, you are going to alienate 50% of your consumer 100%
Exactly.
So if you're willing to do something very controversial because you think it's going to go viral in a positive way, you need to analyze the downside in a negative way as well. In consumer goods and services, Republicans drink beer, Democrats drink beer. Some believe in the gender neutrality, some don't, but they all consume your product. So if you know that with certainty and you have billions of dollars of capitalization at stake, why would you go down that road in the first place?
Why? Why would you go down that road in the first place? Exactly. This was the dumbest move in marketing since New Coke. If anything, it's probably cost Bud Light tenfold what New Coke cost Coca-Cola. And I'm willing to bet Anheuser-Busch will never be able to recover. Don't let up, everybody. This needs to be a warning sign to all the other companies, especially as June approaches. We all know what happens in June. Especially as June approaches, this needs to be a warning sign to them. Go woke, go broke. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, don't even get paid to get Bud Light. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Go get PBR. Or, heck, you can't get Miller Lite anymore. Go and support the parallel economy. Make your own beer. Do something like that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. And check out one of these videos on the side there. Or maybe it's on that side. One of these videos. Check out one of these videos. Thank you guys so much again. Like, share, subscribe, and do not let up. Go woke, go broke. Until next time, God bless you.